Welcome to Spirit Investigations and welcome to Illinois' Haunted History. This list of 10 is part of a playlist of gentle listening, spooky collections from across the USA. The screen fades to black so you can enjoy the stories without distractions. Please do consider a like and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. First, we have the Crenshaw House, also known locally as the Old Slave House. It gained the second name because of awful events that happened there, where, as part of a reverse underground railroad, free black people were captured and sold into slavery. Some slaves were kept in Illinois in order to work within the salt facilities, which were owned by John Hart Crenshaw. The attic of the house became a torture chamber, where Crenshaw would shackle slaves to beat and whip them. Rumours of ghosts in the attic began in the 1800s, but completely unknown to locals was that the strange moans they were hearing were actually from living people, the slaves upstairs. In the 1920s, when the house was reopened as a tourist attraction, visitors would say how bloodstains appeared and disappeared on the walls of the house. Also, they too would hear sounds from the attic, but of course nobody remained up there. Perhaps the suffering and anguish experienced remains up there, imprinted in the attic space to this day. At number 2 is Elmwood Cemetery in Marion County, which dates from the 1860s but was not officially established until 1877. It's most famous for the sound of faint violin music in the night hours, which witnesses claim comes from a statue deep in the graveyard. Locals call the statue Violin Annie. The statue sits on top of a large monument that looks like a Greek temple. The statue depicts a young woman with long flowing hair holding a violin. That statue is of Harriet Annie, the daughter of Dr. Winfield and Eoline Marshall, who died of diphtheria in 1890. She was only 11 years old at the time. The statue has been known to glow slightly in the night when the violin music is heard. Number 3 takes us to the Devil's Bake Oven. It's a cave at the side of the Mississippi River and home to one of southern Illinois' most famous and oldest legends. The story goes that a young lady called Esmeralda was head over heels in love with the captain of a riverboat. However, Esmeralda's father did not approve of this match and they had to do their courting in secret. One day, Esmeralda heard how her beloved captain had been killed in a boiler explosion, and in her grief, she threw herself into the river and drowned at the cave's location. She is believed to be the lady in white that people frequently see in and around Devil's Bake Oven. Along with her sightings are reports of moans, shrieking, and sobbing. Remains of a foundation have been found close to the cave, and historians have found photographs showing that there used to be indeed a manor house there, where Esmeralda is thought to have lived with her father. The Southern Hospital for the Insane is our choice for number 4, which opened in 1875. The hospital has had a run of bad luck over the years, with a fire destroying one wing of the main building in 1881, then another fire burnt out a large section of the hospital in 1895. Whether anyone died in those fires is unclear, but the property, now called the Choate Mental Health Centre, has been rumoured to be haunted for many years. Visitors have seen apparitions, shadowy figures, and ghostly faces in the windows. There's one particular story of a patient being attacked by what he described as a devil dog in his room. When the orderlies turned on the lights, there was nothing there, but the man had scratches all over his body. Also, people say they've been touched by unseen hands while they've been down in the tunnels that connect the various buildings. Halfway along our list, at number 5, is the building which now houses BPL Plasma in Carbondale. It once served as a post office in Carbondale, and according to employees, there are some very strange things that have been happening in the building. One common report is of doors opening and closing by themselves. There's also a massive chandelier in the lobby that has a tendency to swing on its own. One employee, a night janitor, claims he was locked in a closet when he was the only person in the building. It's not clear exactly who is haunting the property, but there have been many reports of a female apparition wearing a long dress floating around. That woman was captured in a photo in the lobby, standing behind the employees. At number 6 is Bachelor's Grove Cemetery in Chicago. It's a small abandoned burial ground in Bremen Township, Cook County in the southwest suburbs. The headstones at Bachelor's Grove date back as far as the early part of the 17th century, although it was not officially consecrated as a burial ground until 1844. Persistent and common reports are of satanic rituals being conducted even to this day, which adds to the creepy stories about the place. Orbs are a common occurrence which can be seen with the naked eye. Also, red streaks of light flitting between the headstones, with no explanation as to what they could be. There are several spirits known to haunt the cemetery, but the two most well known would be the White Lady and a young boy. The young boy has been heard crying out about a lost silver coin. Interestingly enough, in 2006, an investigation was conducted and a well-known psychic is said to have gone into a trance-like state and walked into a knee-deep muddy pond, where he bent down and retrieved a 1942 Walking Liberty $50 from the bottom of the pond. Since then, it seems the little boy's ghost has not been seen again. A White Lady is another spirit called the Madonna of the Bachelor's Grove. She appears on top of one of the tombstones and looks out towards the thick woods close to the cemetery. However, by far the strangest ghost story from Bachelor's Grove Cemetery is the tale of the ghost house. A large manor is said to appear from time to time and has even shown up in some photos. However, if anyone tries to approach it, it vanishes into thin air. For number 7, the Pulaski County Courthouse in Mound City has been known for its hauntings for over 3 decades. The courthouse was originally built in 1911 and the basement contained the county jail, up until remodeling fairly recently. One of the earliest paranormal encounters saw students from the Lovejoy School opposite the courthouse seeing the apparition of a hanged man dangling from a tree on the courthouse's lawn. The hanged man is believed to be the last man hanged in the county. As well as being seen in the tree, he also haunts the basement where he likely would have been held prior to his execution. 3 other ghosts believed to be at the courthouse include a former attorney who is accompanied by the smell of cigar smoke, an elderly woman, and a female spirit named the Taffeta Woman, who apparently died in an accident. At number 8 is Robinson Woods in Chicago, which is believed to be on cursed land. The land was acquired by Mr. Robinson following a treaty with 3 local Native American tribes. At first, Robinson seemed to have some decent luck on his side, but it wasn't long before his luck seemed to run out because his home was destroyed by a fire which ended his family's claim to the property. 3 people were then strangled and dumped in a ditch on that property. Around the same time, visitors to the area began to report various strange occurrences, including weird lights, sounds and smells. Such odd events were reported by runners, casual walkers, kids playing out in the woods, and even from the police who had been called in to investigate. There are often reports of tom-tom drums being played, which fits with the property since there are Native American burial mounds in the woods. There have also been reports of a sound that resembles sawing wood. Perhaps Mr. Robinson wasn't completely fair with his side of the deal. Number 9 keeps us in Chicago for the Congress Plaza Hotel, built in 1893 and called the Landmark of Hospitality in Chicago. It has a long history with the paranormal and is said to be home to a classic poltergeist-style haunting. For almost as long as the hotel has been open, both guests and staff have reported strange noises coming from the hotel ballroom when it's empty. Appliances all over the hotel are said to turn on and off by themselves, and guests have claimed to see an apparition of the hotel's former owner, Mr. Al Capone. While Al Capone is likely the most famous person associated with the Congress Plaza, he's not the one who most of the sightings relate to. That title goes to an altogether bizarre ghostly gloved hand that is seen sticking out of a wall. It's been called the Hand of Mystery. The story goes that a construction worker somehow managed to get trapped inside a room when the property was being built, and he ended up walled in. Perhaps his hand is all he could get through a crack in the masonry, and he's forever attempting to get some help. Another commonly spotted ghost is known as Peg-Leg Johnny. He's said to be the spirit of a hobo who was murdered in the building several years ago. Finally, Showman's Rest is an interesting spot within Woodlawn Cemetery in Illinois. In 1918, there was a horrific train wreck involving a circus train. A conductor on another train apparently fell asleep, causing his train to plough into the circus train, which killed between 60 and 110 circus employees and some of the circus animals. The victims are buried in a mass grave in this corner of the cemetery, now known as Showman's Rest. Since many of the circus performers' names were never known, the markers say things like Baldy, Unidentified Male, or Four-Horse Driver. These days, Showman's Rest is still used as a burial ground for circus folk and showmen. There have been many reports of paranormal activity at the location, with one of the most common being phantom elephants heard in the dead of night. Thank you for joining me on this journey through haunted Illinois. From insane hospitals to circus trains, the spooky goings on are very varied. I hope you'll be here to join me for the next one.